Now here under the pear tree we've really extended the planting with further drifts of little clumps. Orange and white centres really stand out. This is in the foreground is a species Daffodil. These seed all over but take years before they'll actually flower, and you can see in that area there coming through the grass hundreds of younger bulbs, some of which will flower this year, very late. Others will take 2 or 3 years before they establish and start flowering. Different heights, different colours, in clumps, allowed to seed. A couple of weeks ago we had drifts here of crocus flowering. It's the first thing to break flower here. Totally dependent on the weather, and again this year we've had lots of damage from the crocus being eaten by deer. So display is very variable. If you've got rabbits in your garden, again they'll go straight for the crocus flower, particularly white ones. So you may think they're not doing very well, but they're actually thriving, just getting eaten. Along the back bank here of the garden we've got these rhododendrons, which have been planted now about 5 or 6 years and have really struggled to establish themselves on this raised bank. It's too dry really, and probably too sunny for them, to be honest. They prefer a sort of woodland shady and a rich humusly soil for them to grow in, whereas here they're in a dry bank of areas sand and areas clay. It's a real mix. Spoil heap really that was established here to plant the lime hedge, which behind had been grown to form a full semi-tree windbreak. But again, difficult to establish anything under a big established planting like that, because all the nutrients, growth and moisture is just sucked out of the soil by those established plants. But they're getting going. We've been watering and feeding them as we can. This bank has been absolutely awash with butterbur, which we've decided the only way to not clear out all the grass and the bulbs here is to hand pull. So we're gradually keeping going on that, but you can see damn stuff's just re-shooting every time we come along here and deadhead it. And by deadhead I mean pulling the leaves off and trying to get as much of the root out as we possibly can. But that is my project for this year on this bank, a war of attrition against butterbur. It is susceptible to a range of poisons, but I just don't want to put any down in this border, because we've got such a good planting in here later in the season of campions, and at this time of year, as you can see, crocus, and there's bulbs that have been struggling over the last few years but now should really come on into their own. Given a bit of light and some feed later in the season, the long effect down here should be one of a real burst of colour in about a week's time. It's looking quite good. I'm optimistic that's going to do well this year. Now this is our project for this year. You'd have seen this when it was a old swimming pool. You'd have seen this when it was a pile of rubble, a 10-foot hole in the ground with all the old concrete coming from the barn conversion that we're going to show you later in a separate video. And now we've got it to this stage, which is really quite exciting. You can actually see the structure here. We're going for a simple cross-designer pass with another path going down the back. 4 borders, symmetrical. We're going to probably, as a later stage, put a big rose arch along the back. We have removed some of the plants from the back of the patio area to expand that up, because it was really too compact to be comfortable. We had a lovely hedge along the back which was in front of this magnolia. It's the one plant we're going to leave in this border here, and now we're extending the gravel. You can see the crushed brick and the edges that we're starting to form here. All these established plants have been dug up and replanted. Now whether we're going to get away with this or not, we don't know. We've got 4, when we split it, well established Philadelphus or mock orange trees that we're using just because the opportunity presented itself, with 4 of them as the central plantings in all 4 borders. This is the big buttonhole rose here, which grows to about 6 or 7 feet and has been replanted to reform the screen behind the patio area. Graham Thomas rose here is probably going to have to move because it's on the wrong colour theme. All these borders are going pink and whites, with peonies, roses, may have some splashes of blue with geranium in the base, or we might use a white geranium to fill in between the roses. And we've got lots and lots of peonies that we've been growing on in the vegetable garden to bring forward and round here. But at the moment we're just wanting to finish the landscaping. We've got the path crushed down. We're starting to form the edges, which are going to be just soft landscaping. I know, look at this and say it's hard landscaping, but we're not cementing these in. And the reason we're doing that is we've yet to get a levelling device on here, but we do think that these boulders and paths are going to sink and move, and if we put hard concrete edges in at this stage, we're sure they'd move and crack. So we're doing it with soft landscaping. This is what we're going to form our edges with, these lovely flint boulders that we've got plenty of in the courtyard. They've been overgrown over the years and can't be seen anymore, so we're going to bring them around gradually and form just soft edging with gravel as the top dressing on this border. Thanks, Laura. And if that moves, it doesn't really matter. We can just reposition them very, very easily. And I know Kate's planting design includes lots of edge plants that are just going to flush over these soft edges. She loves to overplant and plant into paths, and that's why we've not put any of this matting down. Decided not to, so that we can seed and plant through the gravel paths, which is a sort of cottagey garden planting style that we love. So lots of change, lots of interest, lots to do, and we'll show you the progression here. And if you're interested in having a look around the barn conversion, which is coming on slowly but surely, we'll show you that in a separate video. Thanks for watching.